Hi, spots and cheap pops, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Silicon Steve Ali, and I'm with my man, Vladi Dottie. He's in the house. He's trying to party. And you know what? Edge, a possible 25-year career with the World Wrestling Entertainment could be in the books, as he has his final match on his current contract, which expires at the end of September, with Sheamus in Toronto just 2 nights ago. Great match, Vladi Dottie. Your feelings on Edge, the send-off, and then we're going to get into what could be next for one Adam Copelan.
Watching WWE, this is one of those things I felt that they tend to do pretty good. And the send-off for Edge, the character that's been there for 25 plus years in Toronto, Canada, was handled really well. Even just the fact that it was Sheamus, and here he's like one of the more popular guys currently on the roster. You had a good match between them. It told a good story. The shots going back to Beth Phoenix in the front row, just her reaction to the match, it just added something so human to it. It was great. You could just feel it. It was a thing of beauty. And this is where WWE is their best. And what I quickly realized as I'm watching this is we definitely saw Edge wrestle for the last time in WWE in Toronto. However, I believe in the future we'll see Adam Copeland wrestling in Toronto for most likely AEW.
Wow, look at that. Well, there is a lot of speculation, and you can tell by his interviews that he's been giving, saying, I don't know, I really don't know. I think if he really thought it was over, he would say it was over.
Right.
He would have had his send-off with WWE. He would say, and I'm done. Can WWE turn it around and get him to come back? I don't know where Edge fits in today's WWE, which is a part of this. And you can't say the schedule will be that much different because he wasn't working a full schedule, but I definitely believe that Edge probably, we've heard whispers that he wanted more creative control over what he wanted to do. Obviously, we know whatever was supposed to happen with Judgment Day, it got bungled, didn't really go what he wanted to do creatively. And then Judgment Day was no longer a thing with Edge, and Judgment Day went and got their own identity with obviously with Finn Balor replacing him essentially. So Edge's run in WWE, even though he did main event of WrestleMania and he had a couple of real good, nice, high-profile matches, a great, phenomenal match with Seth Rollins and Hell in a Cell in Saudi Arabia. I think it was Saudi Arabia. So Edge has had a pretty decent run, but it's been mired with injury and a couple of storylines that really fell flat. So it's been a good run. He's had some really great moments, but I could sense probably was a little bit of a disappointment in Edge in terms of everything that he accomplished when he came back, mostly because he had 2 substantial injuries in those 4 years since he came back. Now, to your other point, well, 3 of his very best friends work in All Elite Wrestling. And we remember Dax Harwood saying when he had his podcast earlier in the year, he said this.
It would be a tag team match. And this one, I hope they don't mind me saying this, but this is more possible than a lot of people might think. But me and Kat, FTR against Ed and Christian, that's a tag team match I would absolutely love to have. Whoa.
Dax Harwood, and by the way, that was when he was asked what is his top 5 matches he'd like to have in 2023. So it wasn't of all time or whatever. It was 2023. And I remember when he said that, Vladi, you and I were thinking Christian might be going too. Yeah. Christian and FTR are gone over to WWE, and here we go. The unthinkable. Edge very easily, or Adam Copeland, I should say, very easily could be in All Elite Wrestling. That kind of goes over to what you see what Christian's doing, and you text me about this, how both of them main evented their 2 respective shows 25 years later after they both started their careers with WWE. And Christian's run in AEW, and he's even had a couple of substantial injuries, but his run in AEW, nothing short of incredible. One of the best runs of his career, in my estimation. He's been funny. He's been intricate. He's been entertaining. He's been a compelling character as a babyface and a heel. He was an Impact World Champion, main evented a pay-per-view. Christian has had a great run in AEW, and Edge sees what Christian's doing. Well, shit, if he's doing that, imagine what I can do over there. And I get to work with 3 of my very best friends. And I'm going to have creative control. And continuity cut, go. It's too hot in here. You know what I mean, Vladi Dottie? Did you notice that? Yeah. Anything different?
I know that I've gotten 2 tickets to the gun show.
So, I'm with you, and you see just the way Edge is saying, I don't know what's in store for me. I think it's almost a fait accompli, and it has been 25 years, but I mean, he missed 9 years. Come on. Let's not go crazy. He already had his big retirement speech, didn't he? It was a real emotional time. You don't get 2 of those. It's not fair. Come on. You don't get 2 of those. Come on. Everyone came out. But
then he came back.
Yeah, 9 years he comes back. He shouldn't have the big send-off again. They did a good job with him. They did a real good job.
Yeah, no, this is fine. This is great. And I'm watching it. It's like he's a Hall of Famer. Like, he's had great success as a singles and a tag team champion. Like, it's been a dream career, and he's really respected too. Like, you just see it with all the great interviews. Like, yeah, just like you can sense it completely. I love the fact that he left his mark there in WWE. It seems like he's leaving on good terms. They wouldn't have done this otherwise. And then you have a situation where, end of September, his actual like personal best friends here are like Ed, or like Christian and Dax and Cash. And Dax and Cash evidently live close to him. So now we can see those 3 guys traveling together. That's half of it right there for some of these guys, like who they're traveling with. So now it's like all of a sudden he's like traveling with his buddies to AEW shows where he has, as you mentioned, creative control. He has the ability to work with his former tag team partner, which I don't know how Adam Copelan would be brought in. However, his ex-tag team partner is probably the best heel in the company and has been for like a year or so now.
Oh, my God. Christian's been just top notch. He's having good matches too. And this whole shtick with the TNT championship is gold.
Yes.
It's just great. And the way he just chastised his daughter is like, did you win this? You didn't win this. Like, he won it. The irony.
Yeah.
And he said something about CM Punk. He's like, someone carrying a belt that they didn't win. It's just ridiculous. I mean, Christian's been absolutely fantastic, and kudos to him. The other thing I wanted to mention, Sheamus didn't know he had such an impact on Edge's career coming back. So big up to him and the kind of human being that Sheamus is. He seems like just a really good person to have in the wrestling industry.
Yeah, I was not his biggest fan when he first came on the scene, or I started watching again with the pipe bomb. So I'm trying to think of like where Sheamus was in that history, but my initial reaction to Sheamus was never like, I see it with that guy. The more I see of him and as history goes on and the way he sort of has, sort of honed in his matches and his character, I like the guy. Like, he's a good professional wrestler and he's good for WWE, and you need those guys in the locker room. And you know what? He's gotten acting gigs. I'm a bit of a fan of Sheamus at this point. He seems like an all-around decent guy, and I like the fact somebody who represents not only that company, but the industry in a great light.
Yeah, and I think that was probably one of the biggest reasons why he got that big push. He was one of the guys, when we got back into watching it, like Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler and Jake Hager, I forget what was Jack Swagger at the time. And Sheamus, there were these guys who were the world champion, like the alleged standard bearer of the company. And we were like, how the fuck are these guys like Hulk Hogan, along with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Bret Hart and Stone Cold and The Rock? How are these guys at the top of the game? I didn't see it with any of them. Sheamus was in that group. I didn't understand how that guy was a world champion at that time.
Right.
He's gotten better. He's become more of a complete professional wrestler.
Yeah.
But because of his work ethic and because of the kind of human being he is and the kind of work he puts into it, I think he got a lot of opportunities early. And look, he's been a several-time world champion, I think 4 or 5 times at this point in time. And he's just a really good, like you said, fantastic professional wrestler. He'll go out there and make whoever you want look like $1 million. Had a great match with Edge for a match that didn't only had that drama of Edge's last match going into it, which is a lot, but not a world championship or anything like that. Sheamus and Edge really tore the house down. A couple of great false finishes, and it seemed like it was a really nice bow on the 25-year career for now. So much for watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. This is Silicon Steve Valley. Here, endeth the lesson and hit that subscribe button.